Today we are doing it. We are going to be roasting and reacting to Trooper Michael Proctor, the lead investigator for the Karen Read investigation into the Mrder, we'll say, of John O'Keefe. We're going to be roasting his cross-examination, you guys. It's something, all right. So grab a beverage. Hopefully you're wearing something very comfy. Smash that like, and let's get this party started.
If you like what you see, come and get it with me. I know you deserve all you want, 'cause your heart's made of gold. But don't wait till you're old. If you want it, I get you some.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Seems like I was just here, because I was. Stand-up comedian and pop culture vulture Joleen Lunzer here for another No Offense, All Offense. This is a special No Offense, All Offense because we are only going to be talking about one topic today, and that is the Karen Read trial. As you guys know, I did not follow the trial when it was happening the first time, but I am following the retrial, and I'm getting caught up on all the things I need to be caught up on before the retrial starts. Now, technically, the retrial has started, but they're still in the jury selection. But there's been some decisions made that make the case and how it's presented a little differently for the retrial. And we have some new witnesses that we'll be hearing from and new expert witnesses. We have a new prosecutor with the old prosecutor, I believe. And then we have, in addition to Karen Read's defense team, one of the lawyers is a former jury member from her first trial, and I think she was an alternate, who is a part of the team now. So we'll see. Just to recap the first trial, if you guys are new to the Karen Read case like myself, I know a lot of you aren't, so I appreciate all of your expertise and you helping me get caught up on this. But on the first trial was a hung jury. So there's a retrial. And we'll see what happens with this retrial, you guys. So I want you to sound off, and I want you to give me all of your opinions, hopes, dreams regarding this case, all of your knowledge. I appreciate it so much, you guys. I am definitely a geek when it comes to certain trial things. Again, not all. Because when it involves like kids and stuff, I'm like, ugh. And you guys are going to, go through this Karen Read retrial with me. Hopefully share me with your friends if they want a comedic look. We did cover the Depp v. Heard. I feel like Karen Read has become part of the pop culture conversation. There's so many documentaries and so many interviews, and with the inclusion of Turtle Boy, the YouTuber, blogger, investigator, who kind of put this on the map for people and got the free Karen Read movement going. It was just inevitable that it land on my doorstep. So we will be covering the retrial, but in the meantime, the in-between time, we'll also be doing some of these, throwbacks, if you will, for lack of a better term, of the first trial. And then you guys can help me decide whether I should or shouldn't attempt to go to law school. I don't think I'm going to do that, but do you guys ever, maybe this is just how everyone feels when you watch this. You're like, I think I should go to law school. I mean, I'm already a public speaker, being a comedian. I already argue with people every day online. I already argue my point. I already have strong opinions on things. Might as well. But, okay, I don't think they're just thinking about all that work and passing the California bar. Anyways, we can just all pretend to be lawyers, as we're just law nerds here. So thank you. I see all of you in the chat. Hello. Atharella says, I have something good for you to watch. Thank you, Atharella. Thank you. I'll take all the inside scoop stuff. From the last stream, you guys were giving more information about Judge Beverly, aka Auntie Bev. And so I am very eager to look into that more. But this case is it's cuckoo. And it just seems, from what I've been watching, reading, catching up on testimonies I've watched, going through the first trial since I didn't watch it live, it seems a lot of reasonable doubt. No matter where you are on the spectrum, and you don't have to be either way. You know what I mean? I know that it's divided. You do have people who are very free Karen Read. You're welcome here. And people who aren't free Karen Read. And you're welcome here too. Okay. And we can just respectfully agree to disagree. I forgot to play my little intro, like Tamara Judge.
That's my opinion!
But smash that like, hit that subscribe. If you want to support the channel, you can always send a super chat while we're live. I'll highlight your comments. You can hit me up on the Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, or you consider joining one of my memberships on YouTube or Patreon. Everything you need to know is in the description of this video. If you want like exclusive content. Now, shout out quickly to the trial channel. So this is the channel on YouTube. I hope to God they don't strike me, because we'll just be doing some fair use commentary. But I want you guys, if you're not already following them, go follow them. They do this wonderful thing where they have recorded the first trial. So I assume they're going to be doing this for the retrial. And they took out all the sidebars and stuff. So they've condensed it. So what would be on like a Boston News YouTube channel, when they have it, would have all of the extra stuff. They've cut it all out. So what would be 6 hours on another channel, the trial channel has it for 3 hours. Now, we're not going to get through all of it. We'll come back. We'll have some fun with this asshole Michael Proctor together. Some of it you'll be seeing for the first time, maybe. A lot of you, I'm sure, have already seen this when you watched the first trial. But I've linked them in the description, so please go sub up to them. Go give them all the likes and the love. They put in the hard work so that we could watch these cross-examinations and testimonies without any of the sidebars and stuff. Cammy says, I see a law degree in your future. Hype Man husband Chell would be thrilled because he really thinks that my calling is law. He's like, you need to be a trial lawyer. You need to, you could like stick up for people and do. I'm like, oh yeah. So Chell is always very pro me taking some classes and seeing, you know. So Krista says, no, don't do it. And then there's that too. Okay. So, Amy says, I heard about it yesterday because, yeah, they cut out all the sidebars, which there's so many sidebars in this case. Oh my God. I feel like I was watching the Long Crime channel when they're like, sidebar. Shout out to Long Crime. So again, the trial channel, you're amazing. Please don't strike me. Let's get this party started, and you will be seeing the lead investigator for the Karen Read investigation into the murder of John O'Keefe. You'll be seeing Alan Jackson, one of Karen Read's defense attorneys. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Woo, sorry. A little tangent. We'll be seeing him cross-examine Trooper lead investigator Proctor. So let me maybe put us as the same size here. There we go. Give me a thumbs up in the chat as soon as you can hear it. Let's get this party started. Now, directly behind Alan Jackson, who's speaking right now, Karen Read's one of her defense attorneys, you will see Karen's dad, I believe Karen's mom, Karen's brother, and maybe Karen's sister-in-law or sister. She has 2 siblings. So you'll see them there. So it's this courtroom is also really interesting because it's really small. And so they're all very close to each other. You can't hear. Okay. See, I'm glad I asked you guys to tell me, because sometimes StreamYard's like, just kidding, bitch. We're not going to share your audio. Okay, let me try this again. Let's try this again. Hopefully, maybe the trial channel is like, we don't want people playing it. Okay, let's try this again. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear it.
Super Proctor, in the summer of 2022, August 17th specifically, you were sitting at your desk, presumably alone at your office, at about 10 p.m. at night,
Awesome.
Going through my client's personal cell phone, correct?
Yes, sir.
As a matter of fact, you were sitting there texting with your friends and colleagues at...
We're going to have to pause one more time, because then in the corner there, so you have Karen Read's family directly behind Alan Jackson, and then across the way with the black blazer and the blue blouse, right in the middle of the, there is John O'Keefe's mom. So that's how close they are. So that cute little lady that is straight back there with the black blazer and the blue, royal blue blouse with the glasses and the short hair, That's John O'Keefe's, Karen's former boyfriend, who the trial is about, who killed John O'Keefe. That's his mother, and then Reed's family. So this is, Karen Reed's family. So this is just seeing this and how in close proximity they are is crazy.
Massachusetts State Police about you going through her personal cell phone. Is that right?
Correct, sir.
And that included Trooper DeChico. Is that right?
DeChico, yes, sir.
Trooper Fanning, Trooper Buchnick, Trooper Moore, and Trooper Kutzkowski.
Kakowski.
Tell me that again.
Kakowski.
Kakowski.
Yes, sir.
All right. All the consonants are silent. Fair enough.
I know a Kakowski.
Trooper Fanning and Trooper Buchnick are your supervisors.
Yes.
Get him, Alan.
And you were bragging to all 5 of them that you were going through Karen Reed's cell phone about 9:45 at night.
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Is that right?
No, I wasn't bragging, sir.
How did you refer to Ms. Reed in that text exchange where you informed them that you were going through her phone?
I used regrettable language. I said going through his retarded client's phone right now.
You were shown a photograph.
He doesn't even pronounce the second R in that word. He doesn't pronounce the second R in the R word. It's the R word for a reason. Oh boy.
Of my colleague, Mr. Yannetti, correct?
How dare you talk about David Yannetti like that? There's something about David Yannetti. Don't kill me, but is he kind of attractive or am I just cuckoo bananas? So I watched multiple things and I'm like, is Yannetti kind of a babe or no?
Yes.
Can I approach?
Yes.
Yeah, right. Regrettable
Same
language.
document.
Look
Your
at
Honor, I
this
think
idiot.
the court has the copy that I was
He looks like an uncircumcised dick just sitting there.
going to use.
Oh, I thought I gave you that too.
You
A literal dickhead, you guys. A literal dickhead is on the stand.
received a photograph. Actually, Your Honor, if I could, I would ask that this document be marked as next in order. Assuming the witness verifies its authenticity.
So go ahead.
Do you recognize this document?
I do, sir.
Same document that you were shown, copy of the same document that you were shown by Mr. Yannetti, correct?
Still Lally.
I've done that twice. Mr. Lally.
Correct.
All right. Is that a true and accurate reflection of the text messages that you were exchanging?
Did Alan Jackson call Mr. Lally? He's like thinking he's like what was Mr. Leahy from Trailer Park Boys? He's like, Mr. Leahy. They're like, Lolly, whatever. Doesn't matter. Mr. Gonna lose.
With Chris Moore, Jeff Kakowski, John Fanning, Vito DeChico,
Vito DeChico.
and Yuri Buchanan.
Yes.
I'd ask that this be marked.
Okay, any objection?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll see you outside down there. Have that, please.
Yes, ma'am.
May I inquire, Your Honor?
Yes.
See, they got the sidebar. It's so great. Thank you, Trial Channel. Yay.
Trooper
Subscribe to
Proctor,
the Trial Channel.
Trooper DeChico had sent you a photograph of my colleague, Mr. Yannetti, correct?
Yes.
Your Honor, because of a technical issue, I'm not going to display on the television. May I display this hard copy briefly?
Sure.
Thank you. You see that, gentlemen?
I do, sir.
Is that the photograph that you received?
Yes.
Is that what you referred to on direct examination with Mr. Lally about receiving a photograph from Mr. Mr. Yannetti?
So right there with the like tan little tank top is that is a former girlfriend of John O'Keefe. And I only know this because she's in like all the documentaries. She's almost like I think she's kind of like a contact for the family in these interviews. And it's so interesting because as I'm watching more documentaries, I'm like, it almost seems like John O'Keefe should have maybe ended up with this lady. You know, they dated early on and then they were just really good friends, but she has so much sadness and passion. And it's just, I mean, obviously it's an extremely sad story that for the whole O'Keefe family, I mean, losing their, John O'Keefe's parents and John losing his sister first, and then him adopting his niece and nephew, only for him to pass away. But every time that lady speaks about John and she wears like his badge number, like a necklace, and I'm thinking, there's like a lot of love there. Why didn't they just stay together?
Correct.
And then your response was what?
I hate that man. I truly hate that man.
Right? It's weird that he's attractive, but
Actually, your response was, I'm going through his retarded client's phone right now, correct?
Yes, after the picture, sir. Yes.
Who's
and this is the lead investigator saying this in text.
the retarded client?
I love how Alan's just really like, we're going to keep saying this and we're going to keep asking you about it. We're going to make you say it.
I was referring to Miss Reed again, unprofessional language.
Unprofessional language, sir. To have a big ass investigator job and you're out there calling people that you're investigating the R word. How are you supposed to keep an open mind about this investigation? How are you supposed to look at all parties when clearly you're extremely biased and you're using very hateful language about her? Very ableist language. Like, also, who at your big ass age uses the R word anymore?
I'm asking for who you were referring to.
Miss
I know
Reed.
you've got an explanation. Who was it you were referring to as retarded?
Miss Reed.
Karen Reed, the woman sitting to my left.
Yes, sir.
The subject of your investigation as a professional, correct?
Yes, sir.
As an unbiased, objective investigator. The person that you were investigating, you referred to your bosses as retarded, correct?
Again, poor language on my part.
Poor language is one way to put it. Completely offensive is another way to put it, right?
Objection.
I've got to sustain that, Mr. Jackson.
Auntie Bev, she sustains a lot. She does a lot of sustaining, Judge Beverly. But I love what Alan Jackson, knowing there's going to be an objection, knowing that she's going to abstain, that he wants the jury to hear those things. And they do, and we do. Call his ass out.
After you referred to my client as retarded, then you decided to make a comment about Mr. Yannetti, her lawyer, correct?
Correct.
And what did you say about Mr. Yannetti again?
I hate that man. I truly hate that man.
I hate that man. I truly hate him, correct?
Correct.
You didn't say I dislike him, disagree with him. You said I hate him, correct?
Correct, sir.
That's a visceral
Me too.
response
After all that.
to someone who's just doing a job, correct?
Objection.
Sustained. You can ask it differently.
Sure. Let me ask it this way. Were you upset or annoyed or pissed off that Karen Reed
Then right there behind David Yannetti, the other attorney that's Michael Proctor saying he hates, that's John O'Keefe's brother, the bald guy. Everybody's bald. You guys were right. Everybody is bald. It's crazy. And is that, I don't know who the woman next to him is. I apologize. That could be, I'm not sure, but I know that's the brother.
had gotten representation, legal representation, to represent her?
No, not at all. That's her right.
Oh, damn, Stacey, you got all the tea.
In August of 2022, you said you absolutely hate it, correct?
I don't know if I use absolutely. Yeah, I didn't use absolutely, sir.
You used truly, correct?
Truly, yes.
Truly, absolutely, whatever. You said you hate her lawyer and she's the R word, but okay.
How do you feel about him now? He's sitting right there.
I still don't care for him, no.
I'll let it stand.
What did you tell your colleagues that you were looking for as you sat at almost 10 p.m. at night on a Wednesday night, August 17th, 2022, looking through Karen Reed's phone?
I didn't tell them I was looking through anything. They knew I was going through Miss Reed's phone. I provided a inappropriate joke as an update. They knew I was going through location data, text messages, Google searches. But like I had mentioned earlier, I had stopped.
Except Trooper Proctor, none of that really professional sounding stuff ended up in your comments to your bosses, did it?
Again, it was a poor joke.
Is that yes or no?
Did not know.
It did not.
No,
As a
sir.
matter of fact, what did you write after you talked about going through the, quote, retarded client's phone?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Oh, we're allowing something. And way to go, Alan Jackson. Just keep saying exactly what he said. And by now, you guys, obviously, Michael Proctor has been fired for his behavior during this case?
No news so far.
Which is going to be, sorry to interrupt again, but that's going to be so interesting for the retrial because the jury is going to be then made privy to the fact that Michael Proctor was fired for how he talked about and treated Karen Read and this case and this investigation. So knowing that, I mean, that to me seems like it's a big deal for the jury to know that how could you possibly think that this investigation was in any way fair, or how could you not doubt that, maybe the steps they took weren't all on the up and up, knowing now that he's been fired. Because at this time in the first trial, he is testifying and he is still employed. He's still a trooper. He might have been on leave or something as they investigated, but now he has been whole ass fired. So as a jury member, I'd be like, whoa, that's very telling about how this investigation was handled. And I know myself, if I was being accused of something as serious as this, I wouldn't want an investigator like him investigating it, this dickhead. And then to know that, as a jury member, that the investigator was fired. Oh,
No nudes so far, correct?
Correct.
And you said that to your bosses.
He said to his bosses, no nudes so far, when he was going through Karen Read's phone when he was investigating John O'Keefe's murder.
No news so far.
No nudes so far, correct?
Correct.
And you said that to your bosses.
Yes, sir.
I have to stop it again. This is ridiculous. Obviously, I understand I've been a woman on the earth long enough to understand that there are so many garbage men out there like this, but this is in a professional setting of your job where you take an oath, like you work for the people. It is up to you to provide a fair and clear and professional investigation of some very serious crimes, and you're making the joke and sexualizing and objectifying someone you're investigating within hours of this. Gross, sir. You are disgusting. You're horrible. You literally, it's too nice to call you a dickhead. You are literal trash. Does he have a wife? I think yes, right? I hope she leaves his ass because garbage. If I found out my husband was texting these things, I'd be like, ew. I'd never be able to get a lady boner again for him.
You were looking for naked photographs of Miss Read on a Wednesday night as you sat in your office at 9:44 p.m., correct?
No, not correct.
Let me ask you a question. Have you ever looked for naked photos of a male suspect that you were investigating?
Better.
I don't look for naked photos on anyone's phones.
You just said
You said you were looking for nudes of Miss Read.
Like I
correct?
said, Mr. Jackson, it was an inappropriate joke.
So this is a citizen.
he's downplaying it. Inappropriate joke. You nasty. You should be an equal opportunity nude finder, sir. You should be bisexual about finding these nudes.
But you said you were looking for nudes of Miss Read.
Like I
correct?
said, Mr. Jackson, it was an inappropriate joke.
Ew. Poor Elizabeth.
So this is a citizen. She's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
You were supposed to be objectively investigating. Does your text message to your colleagues at Massachusetts State Police reflect an objective investigation of a citizen?
Objection.
You can get part of that question and ask it again.
Do you believe that your text messages were reflective of an objective investigator?
Objection.
I'll allow that. Do you believe that, Trooper Proctor?
I believe poor jokes in unprofessional language have no bearing on the integrity and the facts and physical evidence of this case.
It's not that they don't have any bearing on the facts and integrity. It's that they have no place in a professional investigation because it shows bias, right?
Objection.
So I have to sustain that as asked. Go ahead and ask it differently, Mr. Jackson.
You weren't so much as objectively investigating Karen Read as objectifying her, correct?
Ooh, get him, Alan.
I'll allow that.
Isn't that right?
Rephrase the question, please.
You weren't so much as objectively investigating her as objectifying her in those moments, correct?
Again, Mr. Jackson, it was a poor choice of words and a joke
Answer the question.
that I should not have texted out. But from the start of the investigation, we didn't know what we had.
And your, Trooper Proctor, your point in saying no nudes so far to your colleagues in Massachusetts State Police was to suggest that you were looking for nudes and you'd update them when you found them, correct?
Incorrect.
Well, let me ask you a question. Did you find any nudes of
Again,
Karen Read?
I didn't go through the photo, sir.
Did you find any nudes of Karen Read?
I didn't go through the photo, sir.
You weren't successful in your quest.
I came across text messages.
Get him, Alan. Oh my gosh. So Haley says Proctor's wife says he is the victim in all this. That is crazy. He must have something on her. They must have like murdered someone together or something, because you couldn't pay. I mean, he might lose. Is he gonna? I wonder, with losing his job, did he lose his pension? Did he lose his retirement? Like, what are the rules around that? If you get like dishonorably fired from this job, you would think all that would go out the window. So it's not like she's sticking around maybe for that. So there, I don't know, but that's horrible. That you guys are saying Proctor has a wife, Jewel says, and stays by his side and defends his language. She's done multiple interviews of how proud she is. How could you be proud of your husband talking about women like this in general, let alone at work? That's horrible. No pension. Ding, ding, ding. Well, then you can leave, Elizabeth. You can leave. I bet you they got a daughter too. Oh, yuck. Good. You should lose your pension for this kind of bullshit. Okay. I love that. Alan Jackson is just getting his ass. And he answered the question, Baldy.
Again,
Karen Read?
I didn't go through the photo, sir.
Did you find any nudes of Karen Read?
I didn't go through the photo, sir.
You weren't successful in your quest.
I came across text messages from Miss Reed to another attorney on January 29th, so I stopped looking through her phone.
So you got sidetracked before you could get to the naked pictures of Miss Reed. Is that what you're saying?
Sustained.
He is just, Alan Jackson's like nude pic. Like he is just asking. And yes, make him have to answer for this shit.
To be clear, when you sent those text messages on that group chat, those text messages included, as we said, or as you said, not one, but two of your supervisors, correct?
Correct.
Were you ever reprimanded for your conduct in sending that text message?
Objection.
So that's sustained. Do we need to go to sidebar based on what you told me earlier?
We do not.
Okay, so
I'll ask it a different way.
Sidebar is like the place where you get spanked as a lawyer. Spank us. Do we need to go to sidebar? Is that what we need? And he's like, no more sidebar. Excellent, Mallory. Yes. If he would have found nudes, then what would he have texted? He would have texted the nudes. Oh, this garbage. And imagine, how he treated Karen Read in this case. And some of you have mentioned this in the chat. How many other women have been victim to this guy in his investigations? I would suffice to say that seeing this kind of deplorable, disgusting behavior from the lead investigator, a trooper within the police, I would go back and I would ask that all of his cases be looked into by like an outside party to come in and look at that, like an outside law enforcement. I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if that's a thing. But if it is, I would be fighting for that, because everyone who has ever been prosecuted or charged that he was the investigator on that case and that investigation, I would ask now to look into all of those cases, because I do not trust this man. This is gross behavior. It's not even just unprofessional. It's just inhuman. Ugh. Protect and serve, bitch.
okay.
Did either Trooper Fanning or Trooper Buchanan dress you down in a responsive text message in that text thread for doing something so abhorrent as looking for nudes or referring to nudes of a female suspect or subject of your investigation?
I haven't, Haley.
Did that ever happen?
Not that I can recall.
As a matter of fact, in reference to one of the text messages in this same string, your boss, Yuri Buchanan, actually responded to the photo of
Okay.
Mr.
I have to ask this. I can Google it, but remind me again. I feel like I've seen this before, but what is that lady doing with the breathing machine? It looks like every time I see her, that cute little lady going, is she talking it? What's that job called again? She's not the court reporter, right? Like what is this? She's got the oxygen tank, it looks like. And every time I see her, it makes me
in
giggle.
the same string.
Like, what is she doing? Is she saying the things that are her? Transcription. Okay. It's just such a, like, stenographer. What a interesting little device like this. Obviously, I haven't been to court very often. So is she just saying the things that they are saying? Excuse my ignorance. Thank you guys so much. I wasn't going to ask. I was like, I'll Google it later. But every time I see her, I'm thinking, I think I know what it does, but I don't know if I know what it does. And then I forget to look it up. So is she talking into and repeating everything she's hearing? rather than typing it? That's crazy. This lady must be tired. Props to this. Give her a raise. I hope she makes a lot of money. Because she's like, all day. Your voice has to hurt and it looks funny. Okay. It's the new way. No more typing. I didn't even know. I never paid attention like that. But yeah, I was like, what is going on? What in the oxygen mask is happening? It looks like a sleep apnea thing. And she's busy. So there's so much talkie. They make bank, and they should, because there's a lot of work. Your mouth would be sore. Oh my gosh. Okay. Thank you guys for educating me. I appreciate that.
Your boss, Yuri Buchanan, actually responded to the photo of Mr. Yannetti, didn't it?
Oh,
Objection.
Holly, I don't feel so
Hello.
bad, Pollyanna. Oh, their spits making fun. It's
He
just
did, sir.
funny. It's naturally funny to me. I love that.
After you received the photo, that's when you said, I'm, quote, funny, I'm going through his retarded client's
Sorry,
phone.
Sandy.
Is that right?
Horrible.
Objection.
Allow this, but not too many more.
Sure. Is that correct? It's on the top of page
Yes, sir.
685.
That's correct.
And Yuri Buchanan liked that comment. Funny, I'm going through his retarded client's phone. Didn't it?
Oh, and we're going to see Yuri's testimony too. So Yuri's out there liking this. Well, Yuri, does Yuri still have his job? Because you certainly shouldn't, Yuri.
I see you laughed at an image here, sir. I can't tell if he liked that comment, sir.
May I approach?
Yes.
I don't know if it's just because it's faded or, yeah, my copy's faded.
Top 2685.
This is an interesting way to find out that Trooper Proctor is illiterate. So can you read that for me? I can't read it. What they talk about? They talk about what they talk about. They talk about nothing. Kiki says, but in Massachusetts, they won't read back any statements if jury needs. Where many states, it's the norm. Well, just following like LawTube on this and listening to Emily D. Baker, among others, it seems like there's a lot of things they do in this jurisdiction, in Massachusetts in general, in their judicial system that isn't the norm for a lot of other states. Where a lot of the lawyers that cover this, I've heard them be like, well, that's weird. Why can't they just do this? Or why don't they do this? So it seems like they do. They have their own little way.
Use my copy if that helps.
All right. Thank you.
What do you see on the top of that page?
That Sergeant Buchanan liked it.
Like what?
The going through his retarded client's phone, sir.
May I approach?
Yes.
I'll take my copy.
There you go.
So your supervisors at Massachusetts State Police not only didn't ride you for making comments like this, he encouraged it.
Objection.
Sustained.
I mean, that's what they did. They liked the heart of the comment.
Trooper Proctor, this is your direct chain of command. Is that right? Yuri Buchanan?
Yes, sir.
Did you believe that your conduct was a misuse of your authority and power
We'll have to
as you were going through her phone in August of 2022?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
No, I had a warrant signed by a district clerk, Stoughton District Clerk to
You're
go
right.
through Miss Reed's phone. I don't think it was an abuse of power. I had every right to go through that phone.
Did the warrant say anything about looking for nudes of my client?
Objection.
Did it?
Judge Bev goes, well, did it? I love Alan's like, listen, well, did it say anywhere in there, the warrant, that you should be looking for nudes? And he's like, I'm not going to answer that. And then but Judge Bev was like, well, did it? Just answer it. Did it? I'm like, yes. Yes, running on caffeine. That was Higgins that had his little lawyer come in and they had to let the jury out. And we're going to ask him about this. You brought your own lawyer. Did you talk? And they kept asking him, did you talk to him before this case? Did he prep you? Did anyone prep you? Yes. Good catch. Because I was like, yeah, I think that was Yuri. Nope. It was Higgins.
Say anything about that?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, next question.
So that would be an abuse of the power that was given to you by the court, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
Trooper Proctor, you'd agree that the hallmark of any good investigation, as you've been taught and others in Massachusetts State Police have been taught, is that the investigation and the investigator have to be fair. They have to be impartial. Would you agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Meaning that the investigation has to be free of conflicts, right?
He's so thirsty.
Yes, sir.
The investigator has to be free of conflicts, right?
Yes.
The investigation has to be free of bias. Is that right?
Correct.
This guy's and how dare he drink Essentia? That's fancy, delicious water. It's my favorite bottled water. Okay. He should be drinking like Aquafina. Okay. The one that adds salt, allegedly.
You can't be
He doesn't deserve a Senchio.
biased against the person that you're investigating. That would compromise the entire thing, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Basically, you follow the evidence. You're supposed to follow the evidence wherever it takes you, right?
Correct.
Good or bad, top to bottom, just follow the evidence and report it back. That's how an investigation is supposed to be run, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And these are things that you learn early on at Massachusetts State Police Academy and then in your detective training. Isn't that right?
It is.
And literally, it's part of an oath that you took at the academy that you will, quote, faithfully and impartially discharge and perform all of the duties incumbent.
Haley, thank you guys in the chat, Jewel and Haley, for letting me know about this other case. I'll have to look into it. I remember hearing people reference other corruption, misconduct by this force, but like Haley saying, Sandra was groomed from an early age by the same cops and was eventually murdered. I have to say that because YouTube's weird. By one, because she was pregnant. Same county, same cops investigated and deemed it an S-aside, we'll say, by hanging. So Proctor was investigating in this one. Oh my goodness, you guys. I'm gonna have to look into this. And this is the Sandra Birchmore case where she was murdered by a police officer and all of the incriminating texts were on her iCloud. But the investigators missed it. Interesting. Similar to all the things they missed during this investigation. Jewel said the fact that Proctor felt so comfortable texting this stuff, right, to his superiors, to his coworkers, when you text something, you expect everyone to read it. He's 40 with forehead wrinkles. The dude's older than me. He knows better. I don't believe he's 40. I think he's 60. Okay. Just an idiot. How did he get this job? How did he become a lead investigator to anything? Ew. Ew, gross.
On you as a Massachusetts State Police trooper, right?
Yes, sir.
You swore that oath.
I did.
When you start an investigation, everybody in that investigation should be treated exactly the same. Don't you believe that's true?
Correct.
Everybody, have you ever heard the phrase, everybody's a suspect until they're not? Right?
Objection.
Sustained.
It's especially important early in an investigation before all of the facts are known that the investigator is not compromised by bias, prejudice, right?
Correct.
Most important early in the investigation, because that's when the most things are up in the air. There's the cloud, the fog of not knowing exactly what the truth is, right?
Objection.
Sustained.
In other words, Trooper Proctor, you don't get to pick a suspect and then try to find evidence to support your choice, right?
Correct.
But in this case, it's exactly what you did, isn't it?
Absolutely not.
All right, Mr. Jackson, why don't we end for today? All right, go right ahead, Mr.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Jackson.
You guys,
Trooper Proctor, I'm going to ask you if you would.
look at how they cut this up so beautifully. Shout out to the trial channel. Everyone should subscribe. Get them to 20K. I think they're at 14. Commercial, the trial channel. They give you the good trial, the good testimony, minus the sidebar.
Mind to turn to tab 2 in the binder in front of you.
Ooh, binders. So many binders.
Can you take a look at the face page of what's under tab 2 and tell me if you recognize that?
Yes, sir. It's a private text thread with high school friends.
And this includes 9 participants, 9 chat participants that you engaged with.
That's correct.
Those participants include people by the name of Bird, Whitey, and Doc, correct?
Correct.
And then there's some other folks in
Such middle-aged dorky nickname. Bird, Whitey, and Doc. The dorkiest middle-aged lazy man nicknames. Like so fucking lame. Like guys who are just not willing to grow up, not drink and drive.
there. They're identified by at least the last 4 digits of their phone number, correct?
Yes.
So this is a group text or a group chat with you and 8 of your high school friends about this investigation, correct?
Oh,
Yes.
Trooper Proctor, you never thought when you were engaged with these other 8 individuals that this particular set of chats would ever become public, did you?
No, I did not.
I want to take a look.
should have destroyed your phone like Brian Albert and Higgins. Should have just broke the SIM card and disposed of your phone on a military base you just happened to be driving through. Come on, this guy's an idiot. He's not only horrific and shouldn't have that job and should have never had that job and a pig of all pigs, and that's an insult to pigs, but he's dumb.
page 25, 27, if you could turn, that's on the bottom right of the document in tab 2. Do you recognize, I'm sorry, do you have that page in front of you?
Yes, sir.
You recognize that this group chat was taking place on January 29th at about 10:52 p.m., correct?
Correct.
And the person that I'll identify as 5051, that's the last 4 digits of that phone number, indicates Chip, name of that BPD cop, correct?
Correct.
First of all, you indicated on Monday that you're Chip, is that right?
Yes, sir.
You responded at 10:50.
Your nickname is Chip? Like chip off the old block? Chips Ahoy? Chip your tooth? Chip?
3 p.m., John O'Keefe. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
So you were willing to tell just a few
Chippendale Rescue Rangers?
hours into an investigation of the death
Chips? The show with Eric Estrada?
of a Boston
Or the delicious... Okay, I'll stop.
police officer. You were willing to tell a bunch of high school buddies details about the investigation, including the name of the victim, correct?
Oh my God.
At this point, it's 16 hours later, sir. Not a few.
16 is
16 hours later, you are sharing details and of this case and names with your high school buddies, Chippendale? Really? Well, Whitey had to know.
a few
Whitey.
hours, correct? I'm not talking about days later.
It was about 16 hours later, sir.
Correct. And you identified John O'Keefe as the Boston police officer who is fallen in the yard at 34 Fairview, correct?
Correct.
You also informed, if you will skip to page 2529, you also informed these same folks, these same high school buddies that, quote, all the powers that be want answers ASAP, correct?
Yes.
You knew, Trooper Proctor, that there was brass that wanted this case wrapped up quickly and efficiently. Isn't that right?
Objection.
Oh, well, is that what you were thinking?
No, the people wanted answers, sir.
They wanted it. They
That's what you said in the text message. That they want to wrap this shit up. They want answers.
didn't just want answers. They wanted answers ASAP. What does ASAP mean?
That's as soon as possible.
Right.
He's like, I don't know. Is that an acronym?
And you were
Whitey told me that it was an acronym.
you were texting this to your high school friends, again, 16 hours into this investigation, right?
Correct.
And you knew at that time, Trooper Proctor, that this was not going to implicate in any way, shape, form, or fashion another cop, correct?
Correct.
In this text exchange, let's turn to 2532, actually.
Slow down, Alan. He needs time. He needs it
You have
read
that
to
in front of
him.
you?
I do.
In this text exchange at 10:56 p.m., your buddy Bird writes, I'm sure the owners of the house will receive some shit, correct?
Correct.
How did you take that to mean? Did you take that to mean that he could get in trouble?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what my friend was getting at.
Well, you had some idea.
Yeah, maybe
The owners of the house isn't going to get any shit for this, right?
that's how I interpreted it.
Yeah, you interpreted it like he's not going to get any
He's like, if they don't put the R word in the text message, they don't really understand it. I don't get it.
trouble. He's not going to be a suspect, correct?
Correct.
And he's not going to be implicated in any way. Is that right?
Correct.
And your answer was one word, correct?
Yes.
What was that word?
Nope.
And then you followed that up with an explanation as to why you said no, didn't you?
That wasn't the explanation why I said nope. I simply said homeowner's a Boston cop too, meaning Mr. O'Keefe was a Boston cop. The homeowner was a Boston cop as well.
The question that preceded your answer, nope, the homeowner's a Boston cop too, was the homeowner's going to get some shit for this, correct?
That's not what I meant with that text.
That's what you wrote.
No.
Like I was double device and I was doing too much. I was looking for nudes. And then I was looking at other people's nudes of other people I've investigated. I wasn't really paying attention to the chat.
What I meant, sir.
All right, let's take it in order. Question. Oh goodness, the homeowner's going to get some shit for this. Answer, nope. Next text, he's a Boston
Karen's like, gotcha, bitch.
cop too. That doesn't sound like an explanation for your nope.
No, that's just saying he's a Boston cop as well. Mr. O'Keefe is a
And that's
Boston cop.
why he's not going.
Now that you said nope, he's a Boston cop too. We're gonna protect his ass. That's what you meant by that. What you got? Nope, with an exclamation point. He's a Boston cop too. He's good. He's not gonna get any shit.
to get any shit, correct, Trooper Proctor?
Well, he's not going to receive any shit, sir, because Mr. Albert, the homeowner, had nothing to do with Mr. O'Keefe's death.
And you knew this 16 hours into your investigation.
Yes.
In the day.
Yes.
To your satisfaction.
To my
That's insane. 16 hours into your investigation. That's 16 hours. It's not even a full day, bro. This is a serious case. Someone is dead. And you're just going, yup, we're not even going to go into the house where we found a guy dead. And when we do talk to him, there's going to be no cameras, no recording, no nothing.
Satisfaction
And you
to the
hadn't
members
been
of my
to the
unit.
crime scene?
So let him finish. We didn't get the finish
Some-
your answer.
To my satisfaction and to all the members of my unit who investigated that day.
All right, we got to play a don't be a dick for this guy because he is, I know it's not a strong enough word, but it's all we got right now. He is the ultimate bellend, the biggest dickhead of them all.
Don't be a dick, you're being a real dick. Stop being a dick, you're being a dick. Don't be a dick, that's what you're being right now. You need to stop, check yourself, and calm the fuck down. Don't be a dick, you're being a real dick. Stop being a dick, you're being a dick. The things that you do, you're obviously very hurt, and that's why I think that you're a big fucking jerk. Don't be a dick, you're being a real dick. Stop being a dick, you're being a dick.
You're being a dick. Shout out to Hype My Husband Chell for making that amazing song. I'm going to have to add. Did I add Proctor? Oh, I already think I added him to the graphics on that.
Objection. Calls for speculation.
So I'm going to let it stand. Trooper Proctor, you have to keep your voice up, okay? Jurors need to hear you way back there.
Auntie Bev, he is not proud of what he's saying. So maybe if I mumble, did anyone understand what I'm saying? I was looking for nudes. And I was calling to see you next Tuesday.
Yes, ma'am.
The fact of the matter is, you hadn't been to the crime scene by the time you wrote this text, correct?
Correct.
You hadn't been inside the home, correct?
No.
Looks like a Neanderthal.
Investigated, or sorry, you had questioned a grand total of 3 percipient witnesses at this point, correct?
You 3 witnesses. You haven't been inside the home. Oh my God, bitch. Oh my God.
Yes.
And 2 of the 3 were named McCabe, right?
Correct.
And 1 of the 3 was named Albert, correct?
Yes.
And it's against that backdrop that you wrote, nope, the homeowner's not going to get any shit because he's a cop, right?
That's not what I meant by that.
At 10:57, Bird goes on to write, he, the homeowner, must have been a puddle to accomplish that. And then he writes, who's the homeowner? And then he writes, I hope not, but I can see it, correct?
Yes.
A puddle means drunk, correct?
That's a term for it. Yes.
In other words, Bird wrote that the homeowner must have been so drunk, so wasted to have killed him, correct?
It's weird what the different kind of slang terms for things are, because a puddle to me is, oh my God, they were a puddle. It means they were like upset. I was like a puddle, crying, inconsolable. But they're saying a puddle is drunk. Is that an East Coast thing? East Coasters sound off. Because in the Midwest, I don't think we say that.
Do you know what that means? Do you know what that text means?
Just the puddle part, Your Honor. That term.
All right, so he can answer that.
And the puddle part means drunk or wasted, right?
Yes.
And what Bird actually wrote was, he must have been a puddle to accomplish that, correct?
That's what he wrote.
And then you write back, quote, she waffled him. I looked at his body at the hospital, right?
Correct.
You used the phrase waffled about a Boston police officer who had fallen in the snow and died in someone's yard. And you decided to use the word waffled him, correct?
Objection.
So sustained. Ask it differently, Mr. Jackson.
Did you answer, she waffled him, I looked at his body at the hospital?
I did answer that. Yes.
And then Bird questioned, she waffled him?
What the hell does waffled mean? They waffled him. Really? You say puddle is a drunk flower power? I've never used a puddle. I've never said someone's a puddle when they're drunk. What part of Minnesota are you from? What city? Because maybe it's a city thing. I'll have to ask Nana if she's heard of that. Like what? Smashed him? Oh, I've never even heard that term before. Where have I been? Living under a rock?
Correct?
Yes.
And then you responded, he was banged up. Is that right?
Yes.
Then a person with the phone number 0095 wrote, I thought he was drunk. Did he get beat up? You see that?
I do.
And you wrote, nope. Is that
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Iron
Yet
Ranger.
again, this is before 11 o'clock at night on January 20th.
Yes, I'm learning so much. So a puddle means you're drunk, and waffled means you were like smashed, beat up, slashed. She waffled them. And Iron Range, like Bob Dylan. Are you from Hibbing? Like Bob Dylan? Shout out to the Iron Range. Pancaked. Yeah, was he pancaked? Like flattened as a pancake? But waffled him. Never heard that. Belgian waffledom?
29th, 2022, some 16 hours into your investigation. Is that right?
Yes.
So before you ever went to the crime scene, before you ever went into the house, only having interviewed 3 folks, you had this case nice and wrapped up, didn't you?
Yes,
Ooh.
based on the evidence my office uncovered that day, the one shoot discovered at the scene, the one shoot at the hospital, Mr. O'Keefe's injuries, the broken taillight pieces underneath the snow.
Super Proctor, I didn't ask for information. I asked, did you?
I didn't think they found. When did they find the shoe? It was when he came on, but they had been searching for like 45 minutes or so, or maybe longer. And then they kept finding more pieces to this tail light, which is interesting. But oh my God, Stan says, I want to go to IHOP right now. Running on caffeine. I'll have to check that out. Aussie Insider has a great compilation of LawTube reactions to this case. I would love to see their initial reactions as lawyers.
In your mind, have this case wrapped up? Was it cut and dry in your mind?
Yes.
Guy's crazy.
Bird then writes, so the owner of the house was a woman. Sorry, was a woman cop that beat him? Question mark. Right?
Stacy.
Yes. And then you wrote, that's what I initially thought after talking to Canton paramedics. Is that right?
Yes.
And then you said, then I saw the guy, correct?
Correct.
So what you meant by that, Trooper Proctor, was according to you, based on your conversations, your initial conversations with the paramedics, the first responders, you were under the impression that this was a beating death. He'd been beaten to death, correct?
The way it was given to me, sir, was
That's yes
a
or no?
medical.
That's yes
So
or no?
he's going to answer the question. If you want
Go
to
ahead.
withdraw the question, you can.
No, go ahead.
We entered this investigation with an open mind. It was given to me as a medical situation. And when we saw Mr. O'Keefe's body at the hospital, Sergeant Buchanan and I, we saw his injuries and we were kind of working through how these injuries occurred.
Sounds like a robot.
As a matter of fact, both you and Sergeant Buchanan believed that he had suffered the injuries as a result of a physical altercation based on information you received from the paramedics initially, correct?
Initially, we didn't know what we had. We knew there was some significant injuries to Mr. O'Keefe. It was still figuring out how those injuries occurred.
Well, you just testified. Initially, we didn't know what we had.
Right.
But 16 hours then, after the fact, you wrote the following sentence. That's what I initially thought after talking to Canton paramedics, correct?
Correct.
So initially, you did think you knew what you had, a physical altercation leading to a death, correct?
Correct.
So when you just said, initially we didn't know what we had, that wasn't quite true. You did at least have an idea of what you thought you had, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
All right. You were aware, initially,
What a dumbass.
that John O'Keefe had suffered a 2-inch laceration to the back of his head, correct?
Yes.
That resulted in a skull fracture, correct?
Correct.
He had a laceration over his right eye, small laceration just under the eyebrow, correct?
Yes.
Had a laceration on his nose. Is that right?
Correct.
He had patterned scratches on his right arm, abrasions, scratches, correct?
Yes.
And he had no injuries below the neck.
Not that I observed, sir.
Not a single broken
We were
bone,
looking.
correct?
Not that I was aware of.
Not a single fracture, correct?
Not that I was aware of.
Not a single bruise below the neck, right?
Not that I observed.
Looks a lot like a physical altercation, doesn't it?
Objection.
Sustained.
Bird writes, Bear, let's focus, correct?
Yes.
Who's Bear?
That's another nickname I have.
Jeez, just be Michael. Just be Michael Proctor. That's what I like to call him now. Proctor, Proctor. Bear, Chip. Oh my God. I love bears. What about him as a bear?
0095 writes, what does she waffled him mean? And then Bird writes, what's the story, correct?
Correct.
And you wrote, she hit him with her car. Is that right?
Yes.
Have you ever seen, in your experience, have you ever seen a pedestrian who's hit by a 6,000-pound car with no bruises? Ever?
No. I love how he's going to think about it. No, you have to think about it for a long time because you never, that's ridiculous. It was a Lexus SUV. That would be crazy. How would he have nothing below the neck? What did she do? Like, is it the DeLorean from Back to the Future? Can it fly up and just tap his head and Wreck-It Ralph? Like, this is ridiculous.
The pedestrian strikes I've seen have been at high speeds.
And that's
60
enough
plus.
to put that on
Albert.
a shoe, right?
With the bloody knuckles.
60 plus miles per hour. So I can't recall right now off the top of my head as far as injuries in the past pedestrian strikes I've attended.
Okay. So someone, you indicated on Monday, under examination by Ms. Lally, you've seen a shoe missing,
Correct.
pedestrian strikes, correct?
Yes.
Those are high speed, extremely high speed incidents, correct?
Yes.
60 plus miles an hour, right?
I can't recall all the pedestrian strikes I've been to as far as the miles per hour the vehicle is traveling.
Trooper Proctor, let me ask you the question again. Have you ever, yes or no, have you ever in your
He answers this kind of like a teenager, like, I don't know, I can't recall. I don't know. It's very Tom Sandoval-esque. Like, I don't know. And he looks over at the jury like, oh, ding, I don't know. Like he's playing the dumb card, like a teenager's in trouble with his mom. Like, Mom, I don't want to clean my room. I just leave my crusty socks on the floor. Don't touch it. It's got my stuff on it.
experience seen a vehicle pedestrian incident in which the pedestrian has no bruises?
Objection.
Have you seen that?
I can't recall.
Next question.
After you
Colin
wrote
Albert.
she hit him with her car,
The
5051
knuckle.
writes, oh, Jesus. And Bird writes, okay, that's fucked up, correct?
Correct.
And then you wrote what?
Intentional or not?
Intentional or not? Is that right?
Yes.
Your words.
Correct.
0095 then chimes in, gotcha. He was frozen in the driveway and she didn't see him? Question mark, correct?
Correct.
And you wrote what?
He wasn't in the driveway.
That's another animal we won't be able to prove.
That's another animal
Like the Albert dog that they got rid of, the German Shepherd.
we won't be able to prove, correct?
Correct.
Trooper Proctor, you knew that there were going to be things in this case, even 16 hours into this, that you just admitted you would have zero proof of, correct?
Objection.
Sustained. You can ask it differently.
Did you mean by that statement that this was one of several things that you knew we would not be able to prove?
That statement, that's another animal we won't be able to prove, references the intentional or not part.
You didn't
knew-
care at that point when you wrote that, you didn't care what you could or could not prove, did you?
Objection.
I'll allow it.
Isn't that what you meant?
No.
You had a narrative that you had developed and you would pursue it no matter what the proof was. That's what you meant by that statement, correct?
Objection.
Sustained. You can ask it differently.
Did you mean by that, thank you, Your Honor, I didn't mean to step on your words. Did you mean by that statement that you were going to pursue this case no matter what the proof might be?
What I meant by that statement was if Miss Reed backed into Mr. O'Keefe intentionally or not.
Interestingly, though, that statement came on the heels of he was frozen in the driveway and she didn't see him. And you wrote in response to that question, that's another animal we won't be able to prove, correct?
That's not what I was responding to. I was responding to the intentional or not part.
So you were responding to your own statement.
Correct.
Okay. 0095 then writes, what's the name of the Canton cop living in Canton? The other one involved, correct?
Yes.
In other words, that person was asking, tell me the name of the homeowner. Isn't that right?
Yes.
The guy that's the cop, right?
Correct.
And you ignored that question for a second time. Is that right?
Yes.
As a matter of fact, not one time, not once in this entire group chat did you disclose the name Brian Albert, did you?
I don't believe so, no.
You were actively trying to hide Brian Albert's name, at least from this conversation.
Objection.
I'll allow it. Is that what you were trying to do?
Absolutely not.
But you had no problem sharing John
Absolutely
O'Keefe's
not.
name with your buddies from high school, right?
Correct.
And you had no problem sharing Karen Reed's name with your buddies from high school, correct?
Ding.
I don't believe I named the defendant.
Not yet, you didn't. Later in the chat.
You know, it's not like this is a shock to him, right? He knows they have to, like the prosecution, the defense, they have to know beforehand what's being presented. You would think the prosecutors would be like, they're going through your text messages, and you would think I would have all that shit memorized of what I said, what I didn't say. But this guy, I would have put, printed out cheat sheets or something to study, but he's like, oh, I can't remember. Like he's shocked. He doesn't. Okay. Proctor.
Okay, correct.
5051 then writes, the BPD had any jurisdiction here because it was their own? Question mark. Is that right?
Yes.
And a few texts later, if you look down a few texts, at about 11 o'clock, you see a text that starts, nah, cat.
I do so, yes.
You responded, quote, nah, N-A-H, nah, cat, K-A-T-T. It's the total opposite. They have to recuse themselves. Same with Canton, correct?
That text ends as they have to recuse themselves.
You then text back, I'm sorry, can I have a moment?
Yes.
What did I say?
I see where you're at, sir.
How did you end that text?
Same with Canton.
Meaning Canton has to recuse itself also, correct?
That was my understanding.
So by 11 p.m. on January 29th, 2022, there was no question in your mind, Trooper Proctor, that the Canton Police Department was recused from this investigation in all particulars, correct?
That they had taken a step back from participating, yes.
Right. Well, there's one way to put it. They've taken a step back from participating. Another way to put it is they recused themselves completely, correct?
Correct.
They were not going to be, at least in your mind, they were not to be involved in any way, just like Boston PD was not to be involved in any way. Is that right?
Objection.
Is that what you were thinking?
It was my understanding they were not going to be involved.
Now, if we could turn to page 2537, 5051 writes, but I assume you guys are out to make it cut and dry since it involves cops, correct?
Ooh.
Yes.
And Bird writes, something stinks, correct?
Correct.
And then Trooper Proctor, you responded, yeah, but there will be some serious charges brought on the girl. Isn't that right?
That's right.
So in that text exchange, you were saying, yeah, we're out to make it cut and dry, correct?
No.
You didn't write, yeah, we're going to follow the evidence wherever it takes us. You didn't, did you?
I did not write that.
You didn't write, yeah, we're going to make sure that we investigate this thing fully and thoroughly before making any decisions. You didn't say that, did you?
I did not.
You wrote, yeah, but there will be some serious charges brought on the girl. Isn't that right?
Correct.
And the reason you wrote that is because you knew, as the text above it says, this has to be cut and dry because it involves cops, right?
Objection.
I'm going to allow that. Is that
Allow
the reason
it.
you wrote it?
Auntie
No,
Beth.
Your Honor.
And then you indicated, we're going to put serious charges on the girl. Who did you mean by the girl, by the way?
The defendant.
Karen Reed?
Yes, sir.
The woman.
So the way
girl.
that you were going to make it cut and dry,
That tells you so much how he thinks of women. When guys refer to grown, successful women, grown women in general, as girl or female, that tells you all you need to know. Like those female, that female, those girls. That's like all of the problem reality TV people, all of the toxic men of Bravo. They all call women girls. It's weird and creepy, but it's consistent with these guys who just are misogynists or have no respect for women. And Pooper Proctor, as Jewel says in the chat, or Michael Prichter, that aligns with him.
pretty simple. Just pin it on the girl, right?
Objection.
Is that right?
Absolutely not. Follow the facts and the evidence from that day on the 29th, and everything led
David,
to
like-
Miss Reed hitting Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle.
Get him, you know.
But that wasn't the question that you were answering, was it? We're going to follow the evidence and make sure we do this thoroughly. The question you were answering was, I assume you guys, you, Trooper Proctor, and your team are going to, quote, make it cut and dry since it involves cops, meaning Brian Albert, correct?
Incorrect. Doesn't matter to me if the homeowner's a cop, if the victim's a police officer. Myself and everyone in my office investigated this case that Saturday, had an overwhelming amount of evidence that Miss Reed struck Mr. O'Keefe. So it
Where?
didn't matter to us what their occupation was.
We'll see. Let's keep reading, shall we? 5051, a little further down says, gotta be. I could only imagine what internal affairs at BPD are trying to get out there. Correct?
Correct.
Meaning, this person, 5051, was opining, at least in your mind, you interpreted that as being Boston police are going to have a lot to answer for, given the fact that another Boston police officer was found dead on that officer's lawn. Correct?
Objection.
What were you thinking?
Can't speak to the mindset to that comment. I wasn't sure how to interpret that one.
All right, next question, Mr.
Oh,
Jackson.
gee.
Then 5051 changes gears, and he writes, she hot at least? Correct?
Oh,
Yes.
And what was your response to that?
From all accounts, he didn't do a thing wrong. She's a whack job cunt.
From all accounts,
so he's a lead investigator investigating a murder, and the suspect that he's investigating, that he's supposed to be objective about, He said, she's a whack job. See you next Tuesday. Look into all of his investigations. I'm telling you, pull them up, get an outside investigation team to look into it. Because I guarantee you there are some people who have been prosecuted wrongly, possibly convicted wrongly due to this guy and his corruption, negligence, just horrific performance.
He didn't do a thing wrong. She's a whack job cunt.
He didn't do a thing wrong. How do you know that? First of all, oh, garbage.
That's what you wrote, correct?
Correct.
16 hours into this investigation.
16 hours. That's the part that gets me every time. It's so new. It's so fresh. And you've already made so many decisions. That's crazy to me. How can anyone in this area expect to get a fair investigation by the police?
Yes.
Especially women.
Into your objective and unbiased, thorough investigation, correct?
Into your objective, unbiased, thorough investigation. Yes, completely unbiased. Get him, Alan.
Correct.
But sir, you didn't have all accounts, did you?
What I meant by that was,
Yeah, what did you mean when you called her a see you next Tuesday? What did you mean when you're investigating the Mrder and who you believe is the prime witness with the prime suspect within 16 hours? You're calling her a whack job. See you next Tuesday.
Did you or did you not have all accounts in your investigation?
the accounts we had was Miss Reed struck Mr. O'Keefe with her
This guy is just, I can't even be offended by him because he's so stupid. He looks stupid. He acts stupid. He can't even like speak up and be a man when he's saying these things. Then I look for her nudes. No, I didn't want to look for her nudes. And then she's a cunt. Yeah, I just said that. He's like whispering it. Like, say it with your man chest, sir.
vehicle.
Pull your penis up and say it. You said it. You texted it. You obviously meant it. Now tell the jury.
Discovered taillight pieces at the scene. Those are the accounts we had.
The accounts
And
you
then some.
had, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
The accounts you had, Trooper Proctor, were from two people named McCabe and one named Albert, who happened to be the homeowner and a Boston cop. Those are the accounts from recipient witnesses that you had, correct?
There was another additional witness that we had investigators had interviewed, Miss Roberts, as well.
And from all accounts, he didn't do a thing wrong. That was your decision 16 hours into the investigation, correct?
Yes.
And the other decision that you made and the other determination you came to,
It does look like you don't want justice. You just want to peg this on her.
was my client, Karen Reed, was a whack job cunt, right?
Yes.
What else did you say in response to, she's hot at least? Or she hot at least, question mark?
I can see why.
So following that
running on
text, I
caffeine.
responded, "Yep, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though. No ass."
Yeah, she's a babe. What river accent? I gotta say, yeah, she's a babe. Oh, so you were lusting after her, you sicko. Like, way to objectify the person you're supposed to be investigating. Gross ass. Ugh.
On that text, I responded, "Yep, she's a babe. Weird Fall River accent, though. No ass."
Yeah, she's
Wayfall River accent. I'll let Alan Jackson repeat it because I cannot understand this man. Mumbles, speak up. Speak up. If you're going to objectify women, sexually harass them, call them names when you're supposed to be an unbiased investigator on the case, say it so we can understand you.
she's a babe. Who's the she?
Miss Reed.
Weird Fall River accent, though.
Weird Fall River. So that must be like an area in Massachusetts. Apologies to my Massachusetts friends.
You talking about her, the way she talks?
The accent.
You can't talk about people's accent. I can't even understand you. You leave R's out of everything. You're like, going to the back. Like, what? And he's probably drunk. No offense, all offense.
And no ass.
Weird
Now you're
Fall
talking
River.
about her body, her physique, correct?
Where's Fall River? I'm going to look it up real quick. Fall River, Mass. Weird Fall River, Mass. Fall River, Massachusetts. What's a Fall River, Mass? Oh, that looks cute. Looks like a cute little town. Looks like Stillwater, Minnesota, if I had to compare. And it's on the water, just like Stillwater, Minnesota. Fall River is a city in Bristol County, Massachusetts, United States. Fall River's population was 94,000 at the 2020 United States Census. making it the 10th largest city in the state and the second largest municipality in the county behind New Bedford. Ooh, learn something new every day. Well, it looks really cute, actually. You're jealous because you can actually understand what Karen Read is saying.
Yes.
You think that's appropriate?
Absolutely not.
And no ass. Now you're talking about her body.
No ass. Sir, your face looks like an ass. Oh my God. And people wonder why women, like, even when it comes to the police, bless you, we choose the bear. Bless you. When it comes to being stuck with men we don't know, even getting investigated, I'd rather be investigated by a grizzly bear. You would do a better job at this point. Kodiak bear, black bear, brown bear, whatever you got over this Neanderthal. Oh my goodness.
Body or physique, correct?
Yes.
You think that's appropriate?
Absolutely not.
Then
What does it have to do with the case? Why are you talking about her ass or lack thereof?
Bird chimes in with a little comedy. Not newsworthy then, correct?
Wow, Bird. Can you imagine the women married to these guys? I mean, I know we talked a little bit about Proctor's wife and she's like taking up for him, but your whole life you're with pieces of shit like this. Like, not only are you a pig, unprofessional, a misogynist, but you're also like very unattractive and uneducated.
Correct.
In other words, well, if she didn't have an ass, nothing to see here, correct?
I would have maybe looked into a couple more assailants, possibly if she had an ass, but she didn't. Okay, it was too flat back there.
Sustained.
And then 5051
Ay, ay, ay.
says, oh,
Right.
she's skating, right?
Correct.
Her poor parents, yeah. Listen
And what
to
did you write after that?
My response was 0 chance she skated.
And then what did you write?
She's fucked.
0 chance she skates. She's fucked,
it.
right?
Correct.
Jesus. I could probably
You decided on the 20.
see this, hear this test, this cross-examination a million times. And every time as I'm hearing this, I'd be like, fuck. It always is like, what?
0 chance she skates. She's fucked.
0 chance she
Right?
skates.
Correct.
She's fucked, he says. 16 hours.
You decided on the 29th of January, 17 hours into this investigation, you decided individually, Trooper Proctor, you're not only going to put it on the girl, you decided you're going to make sure this is cut and dried, and the way you're going to do it is to make sure that she's fucked. That's what you were saying.
Objection.
All right.
Why are you objecting? That's what he said.
So that's sustained. You can, the content's fine. You have to ask it differently.
I wish he would tell us, like, why. I want to learn about, like, why does he have to ask it differently? What's the problem? Which is why I like to follow the law tubers, because what is the problem with that? Is it too leading? Is it like, well, that just read that?
17 hours into this investigation, Trooper Proctor, you made the decision that you were going to put it on Miss Reed, didn't you? Put the case on Miss Reed. She was going to catch the case, correct?
No, absolutely not.
You said she's fucked.
What did you mean then
Not going to
when you
skate.
said she's fucked?
Yes.
After the day's investigation with multiple troopers conducting multiple tasks, debriefing at Canton PD amongst detectives in my office, we went through.
I would ask if I was Alan Jack, were you drunk? Because the probable cause to ask that, because you guys are drunk a lot. Were you and the other troopers intoxicated at the time of this meeting?
The overwhelming amount of evidence against Miss Reed that
He keeps saying this overwhelming amount of evidence, and we're like, huh?
she struck Mr. O'Keefe with her vehicle. That's what I meant by that comment.
What you meant by that comment, Trooper Proctor, was you were going to make sure, because 5051 had said she's going to skate. She's skating. When you said 0 chance she's skating,
I hope these other cops got in trouble for this kind of dialogue about an open investigation within 17 hours. Wholly unprofessional.
she's fucked. What you meant was, I am going to make sure Ms. Reed doesn't skate.
What it
She's
sounds
fucked.
like.
That's what you meant.
Objection.
Sustained.
That's weird.
And then Bird decides,
Right. I mean, I have obviously, some ignorance around this subject that I'm still learning, but Jules saying Bev made it a rule that they don't say why they're objecting. And I think Atharella said it earlier that it's annoying to not know why. And how does the defense or anyone who's being objected, the prosecution as well, how do you know what you're doing is wrong. Like, how do you correct that? I mean, there's times when she says, just ask it differently. But if you don't know why the objection is getting sustained, how do you not repeat it? How do you self-correct? I don't, maybe because they've been through this before, the lawyers just know, but I would imagine that's very difficult for the defense attorneys here to be like, okay, she's not saying why. I mean, sometimes she'll give clues, but otherwise, like, huh?
To chime in.
And it also looks, given all the sus around this case and the investigation and all the people connected, it looks bad that this is her ruling.
Good. No ass bitch. Right?
Yes, that's what he wrote.
Well, I'm sorry, which one said this? 5150? 50, not what? No having ass bitch. I want to see this man. What's this man's name? I want to look this man up. No having ass bitch.
And then Bird decides to chime in.
Oh, it's Bird. Oh, it's the friend Bird. What's Bird's real name? I want to look his ass up. No having ass bitch. Your name is Bird. Big Bird. Mm.
Good. No ass bitch. Right?
Yes, that's what he wrote.
And how did you respond to Bird saying, good, no ass bitch?
I laughed.
Thought that was funny, did you? Trooper Proctor? Thought that was funny?
Yeah, get him, Alan.
It was unprofessional of me. That's something I shouldn't have done.
Well, I think we all know it was unprofessional. There's a lot of things. I'm asking you, did you think it was funny?
Yeah.
No, according to my response at the time, apparently.
Idiot.
Then you sent a picture, just to add to it, to pile on, of Miss Reed being arrested, correct?
I'm not sure if that came from me.
I think I missed this part the first time I listened. He sent a picture of Miss Reed being arrested within the high school group chat. Oh my God. Yeah, Wanda Lee, exactly. So basically they can object to every question and she doesn't have to explain why. Then how would any of these lawyers be able to, in the case where you feel as though the judge is being biased or being unfair, and is just kind of against all the questions you're asking, how would you even bring that up and question that? This is weird. Yeah, sorry, in the high school chat, not the cops. I got confused for a second because they were giving me numbers. So I was like, okay. He's a child. Yes, Stacey. And that's an insult to children because children are better than this guy. Oh my gosh.
Hey, sir.
Let's skip to 2543. Are you there, Trooper Proctor?
Yes.
The date is now February 2nd, 2022. And a person by the name of Doc writes,
Well, not Doc.
is that chick a smoke? Correct?
Correct.
Who's the chick?
Miss Reed.
Oh my God.
And you write,
These dudes are so just disgusting the way they talk about women, but it's like incel talk behavior. It's like nasty ass, childish, prepubescent, quite this chick a smoke or what? She got no ass. Like, sirs, you're like 50 years old. Okay? What in the arrested development, stunted penis growth is going on in this friend group chat? Can you imagine these high school dudes? You know how many times they probably jacked each other off? Allegedly. Allegedly. Okay, I just got off watching The White Lotus season 3, but just imagine they have a couple too many Coors Lights and pretty soon they're just jacking each other. You know, just this is some weird, corrupt, no progress, illiterate brain, dumb man logic. Some manosphere, fake alpha male bullshit. It's so sad that they're just speaking this way. And they feel this way and they genuinely objectify and shit on women so quickly. What's up with the ass? What's a vagina look like? It's like, I'm sorry, shriveled dick. What are you asking? What are you talking about? Go sit on your hand and give yourself a stranger. Like, what? Oh my God, these fucking dorks. They're the same guys you see checking out teenage girls while they're, shopping with their kids. Oh, I think it's like triggering because I've known, obviously, I think we've all known garbage human men like this. Ugh, give me the bear, let him maul me to death.
E-H, right?
Yes.
And then you write nutbag, as Chief would say.
A misread.
Oh,
And you write E-H, right?
Yes.
And then you write nutbag, as Chief would say, correct?
Correct.
Who's Chief?
A friend of mine.
how much you want to bet he's got a white friend that says he's like 5% Cherokee and they call him Chief? Because that's like how these guys roll. Can you imagine the racial slurs these dipshits use and the racial bias that's probably been in these investigations?
And then you write what?
Insult to animals.
She's got a leaky balloon knot.
Super Proctor.
When I
explain to
first
me-
heard this, I was like, what the fuck is a leaky balloon knot? So she got a leaky balloon knot. That's not anatomy. I love balloons, by the way.
And then you write what?
She's got a leaky balloon knot.
Sir, listen, salad tosser. I've never heard, that's another term I've never heard. A leaky balloon knot. I remember first watching this and telling my husband, Chill, I'm like, what's a leaky balloon knot? He's like, I don't know. What is it? I had no idea. And then we keep going.
Super Proctor, explain to the jurors
Ducks and
what a
swingers
balloon
for
knot
sure,
is.
Mallory. What is it?
Your essentially, I guess, your rectum area.
Your anus?
Your rectum area. Why are you getting so clinical now? Just say your butthole. Like your asshole. She's got a leaky balloon knot. Justice for us IBS girls out there. So her ass works.
Yes.
That's what you're referring to about
I guarantee this guy has shit stains in his boxer briefs. All right. Or his panties that he wears.
Miss Reed?
Yes.
These are the type of guys that never learned how to wipe their own ass and just stanky McStanks and think it's gay to wash your own butthole. So they'd rather walk around with shit stains. Allegedly.
And you were making fun of her because you believed at that time that it leaked? That's how you were treating Miss Reed? Yes or no?
Yes.
And then you followed that up just to make sure you cleared up any mistake about what you meant with leaks poo, correct?
Objection.
All right, so I'm going to strike that. You
This guy is so dumb and has the mind of like a zygote, and that's generous. And he's like, it leaks poo. If you didn't get it from the leaky balloon, not the a-hole, it leaks poo-poo. Guarantees got a scat fetish. He's into poo-poo. He's into doo-doo. 2 girls, 1 cuppy.
you can get this in, but do it the right way, Mr.
2 girls, 1 cuppy for this bubby.
Jackson.
You followed that up with the phrase leaks poo, didn't you?
I did.
And he's leading investigations. Okay. Who hired him? Because obviously he just talks this way to both his high school friends, his coworkers, his boss.
Again, another reference to Miss Reed's medical issues and medical conditions, correct?
Oh, she wears
Correct.
a
Specifically focused on her anus, correct?
In reference, yes.
What a fucking that can't that be some kind of can't she sue these motherfuckers? Because that's prejudice against her. I don't want to say like through her, against her like medical thing. Not a disease, but not a disorder, but I mean, sort of. You would think that there would be some kind of way in which she could sue these MFers for treating her like that about something she cannot control. This guy has a leaky brain. Yes, he does. This guy has a leaky brain and a pre-ejaculation issue.
Were you aware at the time that you wrote this that Miss Reed had suffered a colectomy surgery, very serious surgery?
I was not, sir. No.
Were you aware that she had had 10 surgeries in 18 months, several years prior? 10.
Shit.
I was not aware of that.
10.
Were you aware that she had serious medical issues, gastrointestinal medical issues that she suffered, what she was a victim of for years? Did you know that?
Objection.
Sustained.
You guys are saying she might have had Crohn or she has Crohn's disease? Because that is rough. Crohn's disease, Oh my gosh, painful. Just, I had a friend who had Crohn's disease, and every year, they would have like where they would raise money for Crohn's disease and stuff. And the stuff that she had to deal with, and the pain, and all the things that go along with it is just, I wouldn't wish that on anyone except for this guy. I'd wish on him the worst in Crohn's disease.
But you decided that you're going to take another shot at her and talk about her anatomy.
1 second, sir.
And his wife stays by
I'm
this.
sorry.
I can't get over the fact that you guys said his wife is doing interviews saying she's proud of him. You're proud of a man that makes fun of a woman with Crohn's disease. You're proud of a man that makes fun of a woman due to medical issues she can't control. You're proud of a man that sexualizes people that he's supposed to be an unbiased investigator for. That he's supposed to objectively look at these things, and him and his friends are talking like trash bags about women. Oh, yeah,
You decide
the poor stenographer, the poor court reporter having to say that. She's like, leaky balloon knot. Yep, that's what he said. That's what this dickhead just said. He said, leaky balloon knot. Justice for Susan. I'm going to call her Susan, the stenographer, court reporter. Justice for her having to say these things.
that you were going to take another shot at her and talk about her anatomy as a balloon knot, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
At this point, Trooper Proctor
Divorce,
Miss Reed
divorce.
was just reduced to a punchline to you, wasn't she?
Mhm.
Objection.
Sustained.
Even as a stand-up comedian, I wouldn't find out someone has Crohn's disease and then make a joke about it. Yuck, bro. Okay, leave the jokes to the professionals. You're too stupid to have anything clever to say.
Well, you weren't done yet. This chat doesn't end yet, does it?
Oh, God.
No, sir.
Let's skip to 2543.
I would be asking for forensics on his phone, his old phone, any phone that we can get a hold of in previous cases, all of the different ways he communicated during his investigation. I'd be on his ass.
On the same date, February 2nd, 2022, about 4:15 p.m., a person by the name of Whitey wrote,
not
"What are you
Whitey.
guzzling on?" Correct?
What are you guzzling on? His own balls?
Yes.
And you wrote, "Nothing, writing a warrant." Is that right?
Correct.
Whitey then shares some sort of a video, correct?
Yes.
You remember that video being of the 1980s band Warrant?
I don't recall the video he sent.
0095 laughed and then wrote, "Wait, why does her asshole leak?"
Oh, my God.
Correct?
Yes, that's
Oh, my God.
what he wrote.
And then what did Doc write in response to that?
Is Doc a doctor? Was it Doc McFly? Doc McStuffins?
Objection, Your Honor.
The objection sustained. I'll see it. Sidebar, take that down, please.
I'll see it sidebar. Take that down, please. Why, Auntie Bev? Why?
Trooper Proctor, without getting to the specifics of the words
I'm gonna
used
look
in the
that up.
following, in the next exchange that you're looking at, it's fair to say that your high school buddies then continue to discuss Miss Reed's medical issues, correct?
Objection.
That's sustained. Come on, Mr. Jackson. That isn't what you said you'd ask. Go ahead and ask the question you said you'd ask.
What did Mr. Jackson say he'd ask in sidebar? I got to hear that one more time. I think it's fine. Come on, Mr. Jackson. It's not what you said you'd do. Alan Jackson's like, damn, I'm just going to try to get it in.
Continue to discuss Miss Reed's medical issues, correct?
Objection.
That's sustained. Come on, Mr. Jackson. That isn't what you said you'd ask.
That your high Trooper Proctor, without getting to the specifics of the words used in the following, in the next exchange that you're looking at, it's fair to say that your high school buddies then continue to discuss Miss Reed's medical issues, correct?
Objection.
That's sustained. Come on, Mr. Jackson. That isn't what you said you'd ask. Go ahead and ask the question you said you'd ask.
Alan.
Was there a continued discussion that finished on this subject matter?
Yes.
On Monday, you indicated that your conduct in this case, and specifically your conduct as reflected in these messages, how did you put it? It did not affect the integrity of the investigation, of your investigation,
Oh, my
correct?
God. You
Which is yours.
don't even
Correct.
know what integrity means.
Do you know what the definition of integrity is?
Thank you.
Doing the right thing when no one's looking.
It means the quality of being honest.
Doing the right thing when no one's looking. Just, I want to be properly offended and I'm appalled and all the things, but he's so fucking stupid.
Having strong moral principles, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
Do you believe that integrity
Little balls.
means being honest and having strong moral principles?
I believe that's part of it as well.
Do you stand by that testimony that you were showing strong moral principles in this investigation, sir?
In the investigation part, absolutely.
What?
Through these text messages, absolutely not. They were juvenile and regrettable.
You're doing it as you're investigating, part of the investigation, about the investigation. You're
When you
texting
say
about
that
the
juvenile and
investigation.
regrettable, it sounds like you're almost apologizing to the jury for your conduct. Is that what
Hi,
you're doing?
Michelle. Enjoy your
For those
work.
text,
Objection.
Sustained.
Trooper Proctor, have you ever apologized to Ms. Reed?
Oh my God, Joel.
Objection.
Sustained.
As the lead investigator in this case, you were tasked with the responsibility of making sure that the investigation remained free of any conflicts of interest. It's part of your job, correct?
correct.
Throughout the pendency of this investigation, in this case, you've denied having any conflict of interest in this case. Isn't that right?
Correct.
In fact, a couple of months ago in February of 2024, you testified in a different proceeding. Is that right?
Yes.
And you testified under oath in that proceeding on February 1st that you did not know any members of the Albert family or McCabe family, correct?
Certain members of the Albert family I did not know. I know Chris and Julie and Colin. I don't know the
You know
McCabe's.
That
Colin?
wasn't my question. Did you testify?
How do all these grown ass adults know Colin?
Let's take them one at a time. Did you testify under oath? Same oath you took here today.
Colin beat me up one time. We were leaving the bar. And yeah, he was holding something, he said, and he was about to fall and he caught himself on his knuckles, but then his knuckles caught my face. We're all afraid of Colin. Basically, we're all lying because Colin, he's a brute.
In a former proceeding in February of 2024 that you did not know and did not have any relationship with members of the Albert and McCabe families. Did you?
Liar.
I haven't had a chance to review those minutes. I've only had one opportunity to, and that was a couple months ago. So I would want to review those minutes in order to answer that accurately.
You can't remember how you testified, whether or not you knew or had relationships with the Alberts and McCabes?
Objection.
Sustained.
As you sit here right now, you need to refresh your recollection. You can't remember what you said.
Objection.
Do you remember what you said?
During that proceeding, no.
Oh my gosh,
Would
sir.
refresh your recollection if you took a look at those grand jury minutes.
Yes.
You can't read.
What page, Mr. Jackson?
gonna
This is
take
page
forever.
01563.
Like,
Can you review that? When we're finished? There you are.
Okay.
Would that refresh your recollection about a question and answer that you had, or a series of questions and answers that you had while you were testifying under oath in that other proceeding?
Yes, sir.
Objection. May we approach?
Yes.
Oh, sidebar.
May I, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you. You were asked the question, quote, did you communicate with First Assistant DA Beeland that you did not know and had no relationship with the Albert and McCabe families? And you answered, quote, to the best of my recollection, the same conversation took place with everyone I talked to about this because it's the same answer. It's the facts that I shared with everyone. Question, meaning you told First Assistant Beeland that you didn't know, didn't have a relationships with
Objection, Your Honor.
members of the Albert and McCabe families. Answer, correct.
Yes, that's
So,
correct.
so your question is whether he said this?
Correct. Whether that's his testimony. Do you recall that?
Yes.
And that's your testimony that you, in fact, told members of the DA's office that you did not know and did not have a relationship with the Alberts or McCabe's. Is that right?
I did not know the McCabe's.
Liar.
Don't know most of the Alberts, and I have little to no relationship with Chris and Julie. So that's what I meant by that answer.
Well, the question wasn't, did you know most of the Alberts? The question was, did you have a relationship with, or did you know the Alberts? And your answer was no,
No, I don't have a relationship with the Alberts.
or know them.
I don't know the McCabe's. I don't have a relationship with the Alberts.
So you do
You
know
asked-
the Alberts, correct?
I know some of them, Julie and Chris.
Oh, jeez.
And Colin, correct?
Correct, and Colin.
And you knew the Alberts when you gave this testimony in February of 2024. Is that right?
Yeah, they asked if there was any relationships.
And let's try this again. Meaning you told First Assistant Beeland that you didn't know, didn't have relationships with members of the Alberts and members of the Albert and McCabe families. Answer, correct.
Mhm.
Was that ambiguous in your mind?
The way I interpreted relationships was basically being like
Correct.
friends or, communications, frequent communications.
I don't have a relationship with someone until I talk about their leaky balloon knot. I don't have a relationship with them because they don't have an ass. If I haven't seen your nudes, we're not friends.
That's how I interpreted
This guy's such an idiot.
Well, that might have been a good time to pipe up and say, well, I know Chris and I know Julie and I know Colin, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
That might have been a good time to answer the question.
I see that on that. It's like, yeah, why can't you say that? Is it because it wasn't as much of a question? So she says he objects, and then she sustains because she's like, rephrase it. And he's like, wouldn't that be a good time? Because it would be a good time to say, oh, but I do know these Alberts.
And I know these three individuals from the Albert family, right?
Objection.
Sustained.
But your answer was one word, correct, right?
Yes.
You further testified that you never have gone to any supervisor at Massachusetts State Police to disclose even a potential conflict of interest in this case that you might have, correct?
Correct.
And you indicated the needs never come up. Is that right?
Correct.
You also told ADA Lally that you, quote, did not have relationships or know members of the Albert or McCabe families, correct?
Correct.
And that's just not true, is it?
Ooh.
You did know, you do know members of the Albert family. Isn't that right?
It's different from having a relationship with people.
But what about part of the question, did not have relationships or know members of the Albert or McCabe families? How about that part of the question?
Well, that's lumped in with the McCabes. I don't know the McCabe family, sir.
I see. So what you did, Trooper Proctor, is you dissected the sentence. And where relationships are concerned, you ignored that in terms of the Alberts because you don't have relationships. Where no is concerned, you link that to the McCabes because you don't know the McCabes. That's what you did?
No.
So it's sustained. You can ask it. You can break it down, Mr. Jackson.
Not sure I can. I'll ask it a different way. How about if I just ask it this way? That was a lot. wasn't it?
No, absolutely not.
You stand by that
was.
testimony?
Yes.
That you don't know the McCabe, at the time that you testified, that you didn't know the Alberts or any members of the Albert family?
They don't have relationships with them.
Okay. My question is, you keep going back to relationships. I'm
He's not asking if you banged them. Jeez.
asking you, did you testify that you didn't know them?
Objection.
I'll let him have it. Do you understand the question, Trooper?
No, he doesn't.
And it was Chris, Julie, and Colin.
So if you were to say,
How did anyone even communicate with this guy? I did you question Dewey into Colin. Colin beat me up. He's a real bully kid.
I don't know any members of the Albert family, that would have been a lie, correct?
Objection.
Sustained.
That would have been a lie because he does know them. I guess the way you define a relationship is subjective, but like, do you know them? Do you have you had any, interactions with them? Oh my God! But we're sustained again.
Your Honor, this is the point at which I intend to turn to tab 3, and I believe we need to approach.
Okay. Jurors, feel free to stand.
All right, guys, we are at, let's see. We are at an hour of this dude's testimony. So I'm going to wrap it up here. So we are right at 57:04. Tomorrow afternoon, we'll do another little roast and reaction to Proctor because he's got a 3-hour cross-examination here. And I can only listen to this guy in small bites because he's making me dumber. Okay. But you guys have been fantastic. I appreciate all of you. We're already an hour and a half in, and an hour into the live, an hour into the cross-examination. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I had fun with you guys. And we're just gearing up, rewatching for a lot of you this testimony in particular as we get ready for the retrial. And how frustrating, just how frustrating that this guy even exists and has such an important job that literally affects people's lives. It's a life or death position. You could be responsible for leading someone into an awful fate. Oh, geez, this guy has got a leaky balloon knots. Like Krista was saying in the chat, a leaky brain, sir. So smash that like on your way out. I'll definitely check out the Aussie Insider, you guys. I starred 11 of your comments as you guys were telling me things. I didn't want to pause every 2 seconds, but it may have seemed like I paused every 2 seconds. Again, go check out the trial channel. I linked it in this live. I will link it in the description of this video. Please go sub up to them. They're putting out great content, editing this trial footage, and I imagine they're going to, or they already are doing the same for the retrial. So good to see you guys. Thank you for educating me on a lot of this stuff and pointing me in directions where I can go educate myself some more on the Karen Read trial. But until next time, Enjoy yourself. It's later than you think. Bye.
If you like what you